well, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 beta. And we're going to see what the heck's been going on here. Let me just check a couple things before I... There we go. There we go. Just wanted to check that. Let me just check here, make sure everything's working okay. And then we'll do the regular countdown. 6.2 beta. Okay, that sounds fine. That sounds fine. I just want to check a couple of things before we go. I'm going to do the countdown like I normally do. And then we're going to go live in a few minutes and talk about the brand new Final Cut Pro 10.4 beta. Here we go. Here we go. Got audio. I got to keep checking down below to make sure we have audio. Hey, everyone. My name is Richard Taylor. We are going to do 2 Final Cut TVs today. This is the first one very specifically. Now, where's that? Hold on one second. I had audio leaking in from another web page that I didn't want to come into the live stream. So here we go. Final Cut TV live, and we're going to talk specifically about what the heck is going on with this situation where all these leaks are coming out from the beta. Well, obviously at this point, they're not leaks that Apple doesn't know about, or they would have been shut down. Hello again from London. Love the cat room. Absolutely. We like our animals around here. We rescue a lot of animals, so I figured I'd put up the cat room. Where is that? So in the front is Lucy. It looks like Lucy, the orange cat, and then there's Luther, the gray cat, and Miss Amanda Jones is all the way in the back on the left-hand side in their cat beds. So, Final Cut TV. So, we've had 3 separate leaks about Final Cut Pro beta 10.6.2 beta. And one came out last night from another person from Ripple Training. They went through very specific details. They did a tutorial on 2 of the new features in Final Cut Pro 10.6.2. Now, I can never recall, I don't recall, because anybody recall at a point where Apple allowed a beta version of Final Cut to be leaked with tutorials on the internet? I don't recall one, certainly not for Final Cut Pro 10. I just don't, I've never seen one. This is amazing. Is this the new Apple? Is this what happened when they got vaccinated for COVID? They all of a sudden said, oh, we have to do this? I don't know. We haven't seen this activity. Matter of fact, we've seen very little activity with Final Cut Pro over the last 3 years. Just a little bit. 10.5 came out and had a little bit of stuff. 10.6 came out and had a little bit of stuff. 10.6.1 came out 4 months ago, and we've been waiting since then for this update, 10.6.2, right? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Let me pull this up real quick. Where is that? Well, anyway, I'll pull it up in a minute. So we've been talking about 10.6.2 for months on this show, on Final Cut TV. And back in February, I said, be on the lookout in March and April for 10.6.2 to drop. And I kept saying it's going to have features. It's going to have features. It's not going to be a bug fix. It's not going to be a little thing. The way it's looking, they've already revealed 2 of the features. The way it's looking, it's going to be a medium to large feature update. We've already seen 2. We've seen vocal isolation and we've seen dupe detection. We've seen 3 different things online about the dupe detection. Let me just pull that up real quick. Now I'm going to pull this up. So if you go to, let me do that real quick. If you go to this fcpx.tv, and just click on this article, Countdown to Final Cut Pro 10.6.2. So I'm cataloging all these things as they happen in real time. This is a countdown to Final Cut Pro 10.6.2. So first thing that happened, Apple updates Logic Pro Mainstage with new features, M1 optimizations. So notice what I said here. Some of the new features required Mac OS Monterey version 12.3 or later. And then down further in the timeline, I said, I have a question. Will this new Final Cut Pro update require Monterey for some features just like the Logic Pro update does? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, some of the features in the new version of Final Cut Pro 10.6.2, it's not out yet. It's not out yet, but it's certainly coming. Now, once again, back in February, I said look out for it in March and April. Well, here it is toward the end of March. In April, we have NAB. So the closer they get to NAB, the more benefit this update will be for NAB. But I'm telling you, they have more than just two features. If they just had two features that they've already shown us, it'd be pretty anticlimactic, wouldn't it? So here we go. This is the countdown. This is the countdown to Final Cut 10.6.2. I have this video on here. Dupe detection spotted in Final Cut Pro 10.6.2. That was when we first spotted the update in iJustine video. Now, she's not unusual in the fact that she has millions of viewers, but she's unusual as far as Final Cut Pro news, specifically breaking beta news. So she's the first one that came out with, hey, there's dupe detection in 10.6.2. She didn't call it 10.6.2. She said, I'm playing with the beta. Here's a new feature, dupe detection. So really excited for the M1 optimizations. My Mac Studio arrives Friday. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Dupe detection will be great. It will certainly bring the sizes down, file sizes down in large projects. I'm not sure what you mean by that. File size, dupe detection. Oh, you mean because duplicate media. Well, are you planning to cover NAB? At this point, yes. At this point, yes. As we get closer to NAB, and if there is more evidence that the release is going to be timed for NAB, yes, I will be covering it for certain. Right now, I'm booked. I am booked at NAB. I got my flight booked. I have my hotel booked. I've got my pass for there. One of the big things I'm wondering is what's Blackmagic going to do? So Blackmagic is going to be there, absolutely. They have a big booth like they normally do. I don't know if it's big as they have in the past, but it's big. And so they're going to be there. That's one of the major things that I want to cover. So I'll try to cover that event, whatever happened there. Probably Resolve 18. New cameras, new gizmos, new hardware. They're going to have a lot of stuff. Now, interestingly, in the past, though, they've shown their stuff before NAB, some of it anyway. They've shown it before NAB, so I don't know what they're going to do this time. I have to wait and see what they're going to do. But this time it starts on Sunday. In the past, NAB started on Monday. I don't know if Blackmagic's going to do their presentation. If they do a presentation, right now they have a large area reserved. If they do a presentation, I can't imagine that they wouldn't. Will it be Sunday morning, or will they stick to Monday morning, which is they typically go? One of the other things is Super Meet. So I think Super Meet's happening on Monday. They were originally going to be on Sunday night. Now they're going to be on Monday night. Our friend Jeff says, I need to upgrade. Dupe detection will be awesome for a 2-hour document. I don't think I'll do NAB. I will do it later for 1 or 2 days at the most if he does it later. So yeah, NAB this year is not going to be perhaps as big, but there's a lot of people. Sony's going to be there. Panasonic's going to be there. Blackmagic's going to be there. Adamus is going to be there. There's a lot of big vendors that are indeed coming back. So dupe detection, everybody's talking about that. Our friend Marcello says, the way that dupe detection lines automatically update when you trim a clip is just beautiful. Hard to think other analyses pushing such subtle effects. So let's just go over here real quick. Dupe detection. So this is what happened overnight. This is what happened overnight. Coco says, I'm going to be there. Looking forward to meeting you over there. So just follow the YouTube channel. I'll be updating videos as we go. I'm going to create a special list over there for the NAB videos as we go. It'll be a playlist over at YouTube, and the latest video will be at the top of the list. So once I create that list, I haven't created it yet because we are about a month out. Once I create it, I'll share the link. You follow that link, and the latest video will always be at the top of the list. Now, if you want to support me for going to NAB, because I haven't got a sponsor at this point, you can support me right here. buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. That's where you can support not only my trip to NAB, but Final Cut Pro Radio, these Final Cut Pro TV lives, etc. Buy me a coffee, $5, $10, whatever you want to do. Some people buy 5 coffees. So the money is going to be used initially for NAB, but it also is going to be used for other things if I have more than I need for NAB. So have a fantastic experience with Blackmagic products and have had a fantastic experience, and have had the Pocket, let me put that back. Had the Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro for a while now, and is fantastic. Large file sizes, so dupe detection will be invaluable. Does dupe detection, I don't think it duplicates it duplicates the clips in the library. I think it just shows what you have in the project. I don't think you're going to benefit from file sizes unless I'm mistaken. If I go, I will buy your coffee, Jeff says. You can buy it whether you go or not. I mean, you're going to be watching these videos, right? So buy me coffee and a bagel and a hamburger and cheeseburger, whatever. It's just to show your support. I've never done this in all these years that I've done podcasting. 16 years. I've been podcasting for 16 years. Final Cut Pro for the last 7. 7 years for Final Cut Pro Radio. I've been doing it. So this is the first time I've ever asked for financial support. That's the way you can financially support me. Anyway, let's look over here a second. Here we go. So this is what came out last night. This is Steve Martin's video over there, dupe detection. I'm not going to play it with audio. I'm just going to show you some of the things that he does. So he has this video up on his YouTube channel. You can see the duplicate frames are shown right there. Now I'm not sure. Now they also have this new thing over here, which is voice isolation, which looks like it does a pretty good job. And it's going to be included in Final Cut, so you don't have to buy a separate one right now. There's a couple people that have separate ones, voice isolation. And that looks like it's doing a pretty good job. It's AI, okay? The voice separation, no, I'm not sure, AI machine learning. What's the difference? I don't know. Somebody can explain it to me. Somebody can explain to me what the difference is, but AI requires Mac OS Monterey. Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 AI requires requires Mac OS Monterey 12.3 for that feature. Now, Logic also had some of these features that require Mac OS Monterey 12.3. So machine learning, I guess maybe that's what's involved over there. You have to tell me. Is that what it is? I don't know. But so far, Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 will also require Monterey for some of the new features. That's unusual. Well, it's not unusual recently, but normally Final Cut Pro goes back, the app itself goes back 2 or 3 generations of Mac OS. Jeff says, okay, lunch as well. Listen, if you're not going to NAB, you can watch it with me as I experience it. Before I started going to the Creative Summit in NAB, I started in 2016, I always wanted to see what was going on as it was going on when these Final Cut Pro events happened at NAB and they happened at Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I didn't go to the first Creative Summit, but I've been to every one since then. And I always wanted to see things as they were happening live. So that's what I'm doing. I'm coming in, I'm going to do live reporting from the show floor, not 24/7, but I'll stop in and do a live report from here from the show floor. I'll do a live report in the evenings or the afternoons from my room with my brand new MacBook Pro. Well, it's not brand new now. It's 6 months old. This one. But I'll do live reporting as much as I can, and the more a vendor has Final Cut Pro in their booth and they're showcasing Final Cut Pro, I'm attracted to Final Cut Pro like a moth to a flame. So anything Final Cut Pro related, I'm going to be drawn to it. I have other people there that I'm going to be talking to as well at NAB, but mainly Final Cut Pro stuff. Let me just do, here we go. Love to see more investment into motion from Apple. Last update was great, but specialized features like rotoscoping need leveling with After Effects. I agree. Can't wait for your NAB coverage. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. So, like, once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a playlist that's going to be called something NAB 2022 on YouTube. That's where it's going to be. So subscribe over there. But I'll send the link out for this playlist. The playlist will have all of the videos that I do for NAB, and the most recent one will be at the top of the list. So if you missed one or two, you can just go to that playlist and you can watch the last one or two. When I'm live, it'll also be there. The live videos will also be there. So I'm going to start doing live videos on my entire journey. You can watch as I experience the entire thing. I'll start at the airport probably. I'll do a 5-minute video while I'm at the airport. I'll do a video when I check into my hotel. Just small things leading up to the actual event. So it starts Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. That's an unusual, very unusual. They've tried it. They switched it from Monday to Sunday for the main grand opening on the show floor. So we'll see how that works out. What else do we have? So here's what's coming up later this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. So in about 2.5 hours from now, we're going to have our friends, FC Pro Philip Hodgetts, Brad Olson, you know him, and myself. We're going to come on and talk some more, have a group chat talking about certain things. We can only talk about some things. We can't talk about the same stuff that I'm talking about now necessarily, but I can talk about it, but I'm not going to put anybody, they're smart. They know what they can talk about, what they can't talk about. But anyway, it's 2 o'clock Eastern today. We're going to have Philip Hodgetts, Brad Olson on, so be aware of that. That's coming up in a little while. So what do you think? Tell me something. What do you think the heck has changed? What has changed over there? Something's changed. Is it something in the water? Or was it the vaccination that caused this? Who the heck knows? Something's changed. I don't recall any other time that Apple has allowed all these leaks to happen. Well, they're intentional leaks, aren't they? They're showing off features of Final Cut Pro, of a beta version of Final Cut Pro. Now, people that have put these out, you can presume they have the beta. Well, they have the beta. Otherwise, I couldn't put them out. So let's go back. Let's go back to our webpage, Countdown to Final Cut Pro, real webpage. So over here we have, this is when I first spotted Dupe Detection. Now, the morning that Dupe Detection came out, on the video of iJusteen's video, I got multiple messages, people messaging me, friends, Final Cut Pro friends. I'm not going to say who they were because that's not the point, that, hey, you better check this video out at like 13. So what the heck happened? I did this video where I got a call from somebody at Apple, just a parody, somebody from Apple. That's on the page. Dupe Detection and Isolation. This is the one we just saw with Steve Martin. And this is NAB when Apple released the last numbers. And then, so here's what I say. Period. Should we expect more new features with Final Cut Pro 10.6.2? Absolutely. Absolutely we should. And not just iMovie features, lots of new features. Now, lots can be 4, 5, 6, whatever. We've already seen 2, and they both look very, very cool. Here's the Buy Me a Coffee page. Once again, you just go over there, click on that, and you can buy me a coffee. People have been buying me coffees already. Getting started. Like I said, it's not just for NAB, but certainly I need money for NAB. It costs up to $2,000 for me to go. So let me just pull up this other thing. So here's the other thing. So far in the Apple sanctioned, I'm calling it Apple sanctioned, leaked Final Cut Pro beta, we've seen Dupe Detection. So Scott Simmons put out this article about the Dupe Detection features. He said he's been requesting it since, it's been on his list since 2012. It's a nice article over there. Once again, it's linked off of my main article page. Countdown to Final Cut Pro 10.6.2. Right? We have some more comments. I think there's something huge on the horizon for Final Cut Motion, especially considering the Mac Studio is shown with a fresh appreciation for media creators like us. Absolutely. Listen, that Mac Studio looks fantastic. It's like a pure hunk of metal that has the fastest version of the Mac hardware available, but it's like all condensed down into a small thing. So if you got one, fantastic. I'm really glad for you. I am not getting one because I have my M1 Max MacBook Pro that I'll be taking to NAB. I bought this specifically for going to NAB and the Creative Summit. Now, why is that coming out of there again? Let me turn that off. Hold on a second. There we go. I keep hearing one of my web pages playing in the background. So this thing, I couldn't take, if I had a Mac Studio, I couldn't take it to NAB. I'm not going to travel with that in the display and everything, but I can with this M1 Max MacBook Pro. So he says he loves the parody video. Yes, I have fun doing that. I like doing a little bit of comedy. What is voice isolation? Jeff, go over there and watch the Ripple training video. Steve is the only one. He's the only one that's given a demo of that so far. So that's where you want to see. So voice isolation, Steve says it uses machine learning to identify your voice and your frequencies of your voice and does its best it can to eliminate anything else, any background noise besides your voice. Now, the problem is sometimes background noise and your voice are the same frequencies. are the same frequencies. So there's a slider, just like there is for other audio enhancements, Final Cut Pro Native, but it seems to work pretty well. It seems to work pretty well in Steve's demo. Once again, go over to, well, we'll go over to here. So go over to here, and then you can click on, let's see what's going on. Here we go. Just go over here, this Steve Martin dupe detection and voice isolate. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but he goes over here with dupe detection. He's in the water somewhere, or voice, and it works pretty well. So he says machine learning isolates your voice. Just watch that video. It's great over there on YouTube. So it's another enhancement. So there's something for audio. Thank you. Thank you, Final Cut Pro team. Something for audio. We like audio improvements. We want more, but that's a good start. Is that the new keyboard? That is not the new keyboard. This is my Mac Pro keyboard. I stole it from my 2019 Mac Pro. It doesn't have the touch. Doesn't have the touch, you know, to unlock everything. That's up here on my MacBook Pro. Let's see what's going on in the cat room. Sleeping cats. Sleeping, well, there's only one cat there. That's Lucy. So we'll see, listen, as soon as Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 drops, I'll be on within an hour or two. I'm sure other people will be on too, people that are on the beta team. If Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 drops and somebody has a video out immediately, which I expect, obviously Ripple will have one, but other people that have one, they're on the beta team. Period. They're on the beta team. There's no way they can put out a tutorial on Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 as soon as it's dropped unless they are on the beta team. So that identifies who is on the beta team. I am not. Such a nice looking keyboard, both of them, yes. So I am not, if I was on the beta team, I couldn't talk about Final Cut Pro 10.6.2 as much as I do. Now, without revealing anything, I get information from all kinds of places. I get information from all kinds of places about Final Cut Pro, and I want to keep it that way. I mean, I got a call from, remember the call I got when we talked about it? So, but anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about today, the latest development. Ripple Martin put out the video. iJustine put it out, Ripple Martin, Scott Simmons, all those people are obviously have access to the beta. Well, we know Ripple Training, they've always done that. The other two, not so much. We haven't been that familiar with them coming out, but they did this time. So that's good. I'm going to be, let me see here. So don't forget, later this afternoon, 2 o'clock, we'll have Philip Hodges, Brad Olson, and myself. We'll be talking all things Final Cut Pro. We'll talk some about this development of this new situation where Apple allows people to talk about the unreleased version of Final Cut. I mean, they didn't even mention any features in their own presentation in the spring event. They just mentioned with the Mac Studio that there's a new version coming out, but they didn't mention anything specifically the way these have happened. Now, I'm not sure of exactly what happened. We'll probably never know, or if I know, I probably can't tell you, but maybe I'll drop a hint here and there what's going on. Maybe that's what I'll do. So don't forget, you want to support me, all the stuff I'm doing, buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. That's where you can do it. Buy me a coffee. It doesn't, all the money doesn't go just for coffee, but that's the name of the website. And some of the money absolutely will be getting coffee. I'll be covering NAB the best that I can. I'll have lots and lots of coverage starting. I'm going to even start the process of when I'm packing up my gear and what gear I'll be taking and all of that. I might do a few audio tests for different things before I get to NAB because everything is constantly changing. I mean, I'm expecting new microphones to come out in April, and I hope I get them before NAB, the new DJI wireless microphones. Right now I have the Rode Wireless Go mics, one for myself and one for interviewer. But I'm looking at the DJIs. I'm going to order those. Jeff Arbaio says, hey, got to go jump on later today. Thanks for all your info. Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you. And we will be back. Look, if Final Cut Pro gets released, I will be back on the air within an hour, 2 hours. And so we can talk about it. We'll talk about as many features as we know about and let the audience talk about it, because the videos that come out, the tutorials are all good, but you can't come on live and give your opinions like you can on my show, on this show, Final Cut TV. I've been doing this for forever. I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. Some people come on and they'll do one every 9 months or one every year and a half. But I'm on constantly about it. So anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to come back later today to catch Philip Hodgetts, Brad Olson, and myself. We're going to be talking about Final Cut Pro, right? Of course, that's what we're going to do. That's 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 2 o'clock is, what is that? That's 4 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time over there in the UK. That's where Greenwich is. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and say this now. Go ahead and say anything now. Love this channel. Thank you. Looking forward to the show later. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. That's very nice. I enjoy doing it. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not selling you any products. I'm not selling you any plugins or anything. I'm not selling you tutorials. All my tutorials are free. But if you want to support me, go buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. That'll be fine. That's cheap coffee. You don't have to worry about. I don't buy cheap coffee, but it's nice. Oh, here's another thing I want to talk to you about real quick before we go. So this is Create Test Media for Final Cut Pro. This just came out as a way to troubleshoot Final Cut Pro. A lot of times the media is the problem. A lot of times your media is the problem and you're blaming it on Final Cut. So Final Cut, Apple has put out this Create Test Media for Final Cut, how to create test media that's not going to be a problem. You use the test media. So you can do that. I'll post a link somewhere for this. But I have it on Twitter, my Twitter account. You can go over there, find it. All right, everyone. I think if you have any other questions, just put them in the chat right now. I'll put them up on the screen. And other than that, let me see if there's any questions. So there's a very active discussion going on about it works great. I use it to play with Final Cut. So there's an active discussion on one of the groups I'm in about one of the features that's been on my list for a long time was collapsing a multicam and not cutting the audio when you're doing a video only cuts. Don't be cutting the audio with it. visually it looks bad. It's been that way for a long time. There's an active discussion. Maybe we'll ask Philip a little more about it when he comes on this afternoon. But boy, if they could get rid of doing that. Number one is don't cut the audio when you're just cutting video, because right now it cuts both. And the other thing is the ability to collapse your multicam clip into one clip. Yeah, I know about detaching audio, right? But you shouldn't have to. Other NLEs don't have that issue. It's probably something to do with the database that they use, probably. But people are requesting that, and I'd like to see it myself. I don't know why it cuts the audio. It's just something in the way it's coded. So look, it's 11 years to get dupe detection. So thank you, Final Cut Pro team, for getting us dupe detection. Now, people are never satisfied, and they're already complaining right from the beginning. They're curmudgeon-y. They're complaining already. They don't even have the dupe detection yet. It's only been shown in some betas, people who have the beta, and they're already complaining about it. Well, okay, let's congratulate the Final Cut Pro team for getting us dupe detection. We've been talking about it on this show for 6 months or longer. I always bring up dupe detection. We've been talking about it. But what people want is they want these strips to be colorized, different colors, so they're easier to identify. Right now it has this little hash lines through it. But they want the dupe detection to be colorized. So I'm all for colors. The more colors in Final Cut, the better I like it. Right now, the colors are kind of earthy, crunchy California colors. They're really dull, brownish stuff. I'd like to see more vibrant colors, at least like, use the same palette that Logic Pro has. It's a much more vivid palette. You can choose muted colors if you want, but they have some brighter colors as well. All right, everyone, I'm going to get off here, go get ready for 2 o'clock this afternoon. What time is it? It's 11:51, so 2 hours we'll be coming back today with Philip Hodgetts and Brad Olson, talk more Final Cut Pro stuff. Like saying Logic, you could add the color, or is it the color automatic? Both. You can set it up so that your tracks are automatically colored, but you can, if I'm doing a 1 hour long podcast, because I use Logic for my audio podcast for Final Cut Pro Radio. If I do a 1 hour, hour and a half long project, I can highlight, just lasso a bunch of clips in the timeline and color them. It's that simple. And I can lasso another bunch of clips and color them. And then I can immediately look at my timeline and I can say, oh, those are Brad clips, those are Philip clips, those are Sam Messman clips, those are my clips. I can just visually see instantly where that groups of clips are. I really like that. Other NLEs have the ability. DaVinci Resolve, you can color code clips. LumaFusion, you can color code clips. And I like the ability to color code. I like the ability to do that with clips, events, dupe detection in the timeline. Yes, I know about roles and their colors. I know how to do that. I don't want to do that extra step. I want to just select them, color code, select them, color code. The other thing, both in LumaFusion and DaVinci Resolve, if you select the color red for clips and the color green for some clips and the color blue for some clips, you can search for those colors in the browser and all the blue clips will show up and all the red clips will show up and all the green clips will show up when you search just for the color blue, red, green, etc. So it creates an additional way to search for clips. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here for today. Not for today. Sorry, that was wrong. Not for today. I'm going to get out of here for right now, but we will be back. We will be back right over there this afternoon at 2 p.m. with Philip Hodgetts, Brad Olson, the producer of Off the Tracks documentary, and myself We'll be back at 2 o'clock to talk more Final Cut Pro stuff. Just tune in. It'll be live on Facebook and YouTube. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.